All right, we're going to continue on to the Vietnam War. We saw how we got into the war. Now we're going to see some of the fighting tactics from both sides. Kind of crazy, pretty interesting though. Okay, so what happens is we're in there to help the South Vietnam Army, fight back the North Vietnamese. So our commanders feel the South Vietnamese Army isn't doing their job. They're not prepared, so we're going to increase the troops. Okay, we're going to increase to about 500,000, 500,000 troops by 1967. Okay, so we're in there fighting against the North, helping the South Vietnamese, but also fighting the Vietcong. Okay, so we go from 50,000 troops to 500,000 troops in just 2 years. Okay, so the enemy. The Vietcong are very sneaky, very elusive, and I'm going to look at some stuff here. They move among the civilians, hit and run tactics, ambush tactics, sneak attacks. They're farmers by day, and then at night they're doing these ambush raids, a lot of tunnels, a lot of booby traps. Very, very hard to fight because you don't know who is a Vietcong, who is just an innocent Vietnamese, and they're all over the South. Okay, the North is easy to fight. We know who the North Vietnamese Army is. They have their uniforms on. They're shooting at us. We know. The South is different with Viet Cong. Okay, and we're going to look at some stuff here. All right, they use tunnels. Okay, they have these elaborate tunnels set up. You can see the air vents here, the trenches, all underground. So when there's airstrikes, when we go over the top with our bombs, these tunnels connect villages. I mean, there's miles and miles of tunnels, and they can go underground and just go from village to village without ever being on top of the surface. Okay, you look at some of these. I mean, they're very elaborate. Okay, you have lookout spots, you have sleeping spots, you have wells, headquarters, and the entrance to a lot of these are just literally small holes in the ground about the size, the width of your shoulder. I'll show you some videos tomorrow. It's pretty crazy, okay, what we're dealing with. It's very different. I mean, we're used to, heavy artillery, and we're going to bomb you, and we're going to have face-to-face battle. This is different. I mean, this is very different than what we're used to, okay? I mean, you see the Vietnamese people, they're very small, naturally, okay, hiding in these tunnels. Pretty crazy stuff. A lot of traps. We'll look at some of these. You can see you go down in these tunnels, get a spike in your face. You got helicopter traps, bamboo sticks that are tied to grenades. When the helicopter comes down, it pulls the grenade pin. Steel arrow traps. You step on this, it goes into your shin. This guy here going into the tunnels. I mean, it's very different than what we're used to. Okay, this guy's having a smoke while he's pulling his brother out. Okay. Punji sticks, which are pretty crazy stuff, and we'll talk about those, are these bamboo sticks that are sharpened to a point. And when the veterans come in, you'll have to ask them about those, because what they would do is they would take them and they would dip them into human feces. Okay, and what would happen is you would step on one of these and it would go through your foot, and it wasn't set up to kill you, but because of the bacteria, you would get infected. And what would happen is they'd have to have 3-4 men to take these wounded soldiers out, and by taking the men out of the battle and making them take care of the wounded soldiers, it had more of an impact than just killing one soldier. Okay, you kill one soldier, he's there, they come back after the battle. You wound one soldier, you have 3-4 people coming in to get this soldier out. Okay, again, tunnels are very, very elaborate, and we'll talk about these. Okay, I'll show you this video here of this guy going into the tunnel. Some other videos here tomorrow. You have booby traps. This one here, a rock with bamboo stakes just tied to it. You run by, you hit the tripwire, comes in and impales you. A lot of this stuff isn't set up to kill you. Again, it's just to make you paranoid. All right, and it's pretty successful. Landmines. Here's Punji stakes. What happens? They dig a hole, put these in, put some grass or some leaves over the top. You don't see it. You're walking in the jungle, and bam. Okay, pierces through your foot, through your shin bone. I mean, this is some nasty stuff. Okay, so the U.S. is just trying to win what's called a war of attrition. We're just going to keep on bombing. We're going to keep on, coming at them until they just run out of men. Okay, I mean, we kill millions of Vietnamese. okay? Because we just keep on coming. We're going to just bring the power, bring the power, bring the power. Now they're getting their supplies again from China and the Soviet Union because they're communist. And the big thing is who has more to fight for? The Vietcong in the South are fighting for survival. I mean, they're fighting for their way of life. They're fighting for freedom, their independence. The U.S., it's 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. They're doing this military struggle. Okay, we're fighting so communism doesn't spread 6,000 miles away. It's a little bit different. You think about who has more to fight for, who has more to die for. The Vietnamese have the cause that's really going to make it so they're not going to give up. I mean, you can keep bombing them. They're not going to give up. All right. So what happens? We look at this war. We're battling for hearts and for minds. We're trying to get people on our side. We're doing pretty nasty bombings. Napalm, a gasoline bomb that goes in to set fire to the jungles. Agent Orange would come in. It's a very toxic leaf-killing chemical because we're trying to expose the jungle so there's not any place for them to hide. And we're doing a lot of what's called search and destroy missions. All right, you go into these camps that we hear have Viet Cong. We go in, we search for Viet Cong, we destroy, we light it on fire, we move on to the next one. Okay, so what happens is a lot of people in the a lot of people are going to be not very sympathetic to the United States because of some of these pretty nasty and almost pretty aggressive tactics that we're using. Okay, so napalm again, these bombs that would just set fire to the jungle. Agent Orange, kill the leaves, and then these search and destroy missions. Go in, look for them, light them on fire, or not the people, light the villages on fire, and move on. Okay, you see here the search and destroy mission. A lot of these people again, they're living in grass huts, no electricity, no plumbing, no running water. I mean, these are like these are serious primitive people out in the countryside in Vietnam. Okay, again here, search and destroy mission. 5 million Vietnamese are going to be refugees because they're homeless refugees because their villages are burned and they don't have any place to go. Okay, here's a napalm attack. These bombs, again, it spreads out this petroleum jelly type material, lights everything on fire. And this is kind of the type of images, and we'll look at the anti-war movement that come into the United States. I mean, this young girl here, she's about 8, 9 years old, had napalm all down her back, just screaming in agony. I mean, children. You see American soldiers walking by. This is after a napalm attack. And these are the type of images that are going to make people in the United States wonder, like, man, what are we doing over there? 6,000 miles away, you got kids screaming down the street with napalm, 5,000 degrees burning their back. So you have, again, Agent Orange. You go from this to this. You come through like crop dusting. Pretty nasty chemical. Now the thing with this is it comes down, it gets into the water system, and it's very toxic. Okay, a genetic time bomb. Once it enters your body, you don't know what kind of birth defects you're going to have. I just Googled Agent Orange birth defects, and this is what came up. I mean, there's just pages and pages. I mean, it's pretty nasty stuff. So, the problems are going to be going on for generations. Okay, not just the Vietnamese people that are affected when it happened. Okay, so. What happens now is you start to get something called the credibility gap. The president's out there saying, hey, everything's going great. We're winning. We're killing the body count. We're destroying these guys. And they're saying this, but then what we're hearing and what we're seeing on TV is different. And you get this gap, this credibility gap, that people stop trusting the government. They stop trusting what the president's saying. Because this is going to be the first war that'll be seen on TV every night. It's referred to as the living room war. I mean, we saw the surge in televisions in the 50s. Now people are seeing this on their nightly news. And they're saying, hey, wait a minute, this isn't what's the president's saying this, I'm seeing this. You have this gap. Things aren't adding up. Okay. Now, there's also a draft. Young men 18 to 25 have to sign up for military service. There's some ways to get out of the draft, and we'll look at this more in class. Okay, and a lot of people, mostly white, mostly people with money that know the way around the system, can get a deferment. You can get exempted from the draft. Okay, go to college. All right, a lot of college students go to college to get out of the draft, have kids, flee to Canada, which a lot of people do, go to jail. Muhammad Ali, heavyweight champion boxer, gets drafted, says, I'm not going to Vietnam, goes to jail, okay? Disabled, all right? I mean, so there's a lot of people, there's stories of people shooting themselves in the foot. There's stories of people fleeing to Canada. It's a lot of people, they're just called draft dodgers, trying to get out of being drafted, okay? Now, the turning point in the war, 1968, is the Vietnamese New Year's, okay? It's called Tet, all right? And what happens is we think there's not going to be any sort of attacks going on, but the Vietcong plan a very elaborate attack, U.S. air bases, 100 towns, and they have this organized attack on the New Year's celebration day when we think everything is kind of off limits, okay? This lasts for over a month. It's called the Tet Offensive, all right? And we'll end up gaining control after a month, but what this shows is that we're not as strong as maybe we thought we are. We're not winning the way we thought we were. The Viet Cong are a lot more determined than we thought they were, and this isn't going to be some easy fight, okay? So although we win militarily, the impact as far as how people view us and how the media shows us has a very lasting negative impact, okay? And this is called the Tet Offensive in 1968. Okay, you can see here major cities, major air bases coming through, very hard hit. Okay, and it takes over a month for us to gain control. All right. Now you can see here President Johnson. Okay, as we bring in more troops. All right, you see here 500,000. Here's his popularity rate. Okay, going down. So. Tet Offensive, a lot of stuff. Mainstream media is openly criticizing the war. His popularity decreases down to a 60% disapproval rating. And Johnson doesn't even run for re-election in 1968 because the war is having such a toll on him emotionally, mentally, physically even. So you think about this, as troops are sent in, okay, his popularity is going down, okay. And that's really unheard of. I mean, we looked at Johnson. I mean, he killed in 1964. Doesn't even run in 68. Okay. Now, the last thing in 1968 that really makes people go crazy, and we're going to look at the anti-war movement, is this massacre in My Lai. You have a village, small farm village, where 400 innocent Vietnamese are going to be killed. Okay. Mostly women, women, children, elderly. It was thought that there were Viet Cong there, but there weren't any. Okay, U.S. had orders that there wasn't. Okay, and this is really going to make the anti-war movement go crazy. People are looking at this like, what are we doing? We're killing, kids and old people and women, execution style in the back of the head. And really start to examine why are we fighting this war. Okay, and this will really go into their next set when we look at the anti-war movement and the protesters in the United States. We'll look at that next set of notes. And